Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. As you can see, we have a door. Lovely. Window reg gone. Piece of paper holding it up. That's going to mostly fall down now. New electric windows. Bet your car don't have that. It's been half stripped, so we're going to kind of continue. This is how I got it, so don't blame me. But when we put it back, all that's really missing is a plate here that clips on. There's a Phillips screw here, and this has been broke, but there's a Phillips screw just behind here too. Just under, oh, okay, well that Phillips screw's back in, so we'll have to take that out. And then we have to also twist off the little lock, so the thing that locks the door, twist that up and lift that off as well. So that's off. Take off Phillips screwdriver, or Phillips screw here. Now we need to disconnect. That's for the locking the doors and open the doors. This is for the driver's side window and the passenger side window, or vice versa, whichever it happens to be. Now, unless there's any screws underneath, this should pop off, lift up. There we go. So be careful of the wires. If you feed the wires back through, we're going to have the door catch on it, so that needs to come off without breaking. Now I'm going to leave this is a door latch here, the little clip, and then you have to take the hook off, but you have to make sure you put this back in its place, this little plastic bit here, because otherwise the wire needs to stay in the same position, or the casing, and the wire slides in and out of the casing. If you don't do that, it won't open or close from the inside. Now, can I take this off? I'll get that out of the way. And what I mean by the first thing is the casing has to slot inside there, and that will allow the cable to move in and out without moving the casing. That's important. This then, couldn't show you, but there's two little clips on the side, and this is just for the mirror, so that slides out of the way. As you can see, someone's been in here before. This stuff is just annoying. You can't really get it off properly as such. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip this stuff off. I mean, you don't really need it. I mean, I know people are going to say, well, you need to put it back because it was there, but I'm telling you, you just do not need it. If you're really that bothered, you can always put something back, but as you can see, this is ripped already. With pieces of wood in here. That was obviously trying to help the window up. So yeah, I'm just going to take it off because it really isn't needed, and it's just in the way. Now the only problem with this, we had to get a new window reg. I don't particularly trust second-hand ones. Now if you get a second-hand one really cheap, I'd say to you, yeah, look, no problem, but it's different when you're doing it yourself, because when you're doing it yourself, you take the risk. When I'm doing it for somebody, and I get a second-hand one and it breaks after a few weeks, it then becomes my problem and my fault. So that's why it's slightly different. So when I'm telling you to do things and do this, it's up to you. If you want to take your own risk, that's entirely up to you. But if I did a job for someone and they came back 2 days later because it broke, even though it's not my fault, it will be my fault. So this is why, just for my sake more so, it's just easier for me to get a new one. But the problem with this one is, it was ridiculously expensive. We had to buy the motor, even though we didn't need the motor. That's just the way it came. Well, I'm just gonna, yeah, don't need it. Really don't need that. Just trying to find where all the clips are. So as you can see, we've got one here, one there, one here. So there should be another one, maybe in behind this. And it is in behind the speaker. So we take the speaker off. The speaker is broke. Someone had the speaker off before. There should be 3 Phillips screws, but one of them's been broke, so there's only going to be 2. Undo the weak speaker clip, pull it out of the way, and we can see the 3rd or the 4th bolt, should I say, for this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the window reg, and then the motor is bolted in here. Just looks like there's one bolt for the actual motor, and then it's bolted onto the glass, which you have to be kind of careful of. And I know I'm going to get grief for ripping this off, but I'm telling you here and now, it's not going to make a difference. If this was a brand new car, would I be doing this? No, but it's not, and I'm doing it to get over it. Right, 10 mil, get this puppy off. Now when you're doing things like window eggs and stuff, if you can avoid it, don't be using 1/2-inch ratchets on it. Not that it's a problem, it's just with a 1/2-inch ratchet it's big and you can tend to over tighten things easier than you can with a 3/8 drive. It's not, you can do it with a 1/2-inch, it's just with a 3/8 you get a little bit more control. And especially when we come to tighten the 2 bolts on the window, it is very scary, and half a turn and it can just shatter. The first thing we need to do is get the window down. Now what you need to do on most cars is put the window down halfway, and you can then see the 2 bolts for the window. It's a 10 mil. So I just need to release this off. There's one. The other one needs to come down. The window needs to come down a bit, but hopefully I can just get it here. Yeah. I can't get it further down because it's wedged, but I can just get it. I could do the window beam down a bit more, but I can't get it, so I'm just going to kind of hold it here and release the bolt, which is quite tight actually. Now, you have 2 options here. You can lift up the glass and tape it in place, which is okay. I just don't particularly like doing that, just in case if it ever did fall, it's going to shatter. And it's not, once you've got it like this, it's not really a big deal taking it out, in my opinion. What you can do is just slide it up, get some tape, like big duct tape or something, and tape it and let the window there, fine, no problem. But if it ever does move, you're in trouble. All you got to do is put the window halfway down, turn it about 45 degrees, and as you can see, the window will come out really nice and easy. Now, you do have to be careful not to obviously break this. It really is a catch-22. With the glass, if you leave the glass in, it's a bit safer, but it could fall down. I like to put the glass on the front or the back seats, close the door so you can't really go near it. But like I say, it doesn't really matter, just whichever way you want to do it yourself. So what we need to do is loosen these bolts now. I don't know if we get it with the new kit. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Well, you don't get them with the new one, so just make sure you don't lose them. Now, for some reason, we had a washer on there which shouldn't be there. So this could be the wrong regulator that was designed for this car, or someone's done something to it. But whatever the case, we're going to have to get it out. Unfortunately, the one I got didn't have the piece of wood on it. Pull off the electrics. The electrics, just 2 little clips, and they pulled off the electrics. We need to get that off. And there we go, 1 window reg. Like I said, I don't know if it's the actual right one for the car. I'm assuming it has to be because it worked, but there was washers and spacers in this where they shouldn't be. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. So we need to make sure this is the right one. And it looks right. No, it's wrong. Shit. It is wrong. The motor is different. Connection on the motor. We've only a 2-pin connection here and a multi-pin connection there. Right, well there's nothing I can do with this until I get the correct one. All the joys. Right, so it's day 2. Going to be a couple of differences in this video. I'm wearing a new mic and I'm trying to get my sound better because even though the road isn't really close to me, it sounds like it is on the video. So from the first part of this video I was using my normal mic, and now I'm using this mic, so hopefully you should hear the difference and let me know if it's better, worse or indifferent. So because I'm going to be trying out a few different mics, but anyway, right, so we've got the window reg. Now it seems to be the right one this time. The problem was, believe it or not, it was the right one, but it was in the right box, but someone put the wrong reg in the box. But with this one, what we can see is we've got a connection. So we don't have the original connection. So I'm going to have to cut this off, put a couple more connection on, which isn't a big deal, and we'll be away with it. So first thing I need to do is get it in place. When there's a right and wrong way of doing it. These little rubber things need to be facing up, because this is where the actual glass is going to be put onto it. This can be a bit tricky now to get this in, so we need to kind of go in at an angle. Move that out of the way, because that will always get in your way, even though it's not going to want to get out of my way now. Right, so first I want to check is just make sure all the holes line up, which they do there and there. Yeah, and they do here. And there, and the one lines up here. Yeah, so we know we're okay. So I'm just going to hand tight the bolt into it for the time being, just to kind of hold it there for me. Just makes my life a bit easier. Just like that. And hopefully you can see this, but same with this one. So just get that in there. Now if you remember, we had a washer on this one, but it's lining up, so I'm not really going to put it back. If it wasn't lining up I would, but it seems to be lining up flush with the door fine, so I don't think there's any need putting it back on. Just the motor one here now. So that's all the 5 bolts on. Just gonna kind of screw them down a bit now before I put on the glass. It's important you get all the bolts on before you tighten them down, but you need to tighten them down before you put the glass in. So you need to get them in the position they was before you put the glass in, because the thing is, if they're in the wrong position, you put the glass in and try and lift it up and down, you can shatter the glass very, very quickly. Right, so we've got the window reg in, but what we need to do is we need to find out which wire goes to which. They're not the same colour, and even if there was the same colour, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to just fit colour to colour, because this window reg is made by a different manufacturer that makes the car, so you can't necessarily always go off the colour of the wires. So the easiest thing to do is cut off the wire, but make sure you leave plenty of wire on the plug and save the plug. And the reason I say that is because you never know when that plug might come in handy again. We can't use it for this window reg, but you know, you never know, so always keep that plug. We've got plenty of wire with the new one, so we haven't got a problem as regards the length of the wire. And then all I'm going to do is just cut back the wire so we can actually see the wire. Cut back the plastic or the rubber on the wire. Right, so we've got that. And the easiest thing to do is get your switches. So we know we have our electric window switch panel here. Put this on. I'm not sure which is the driver's side and which is the passenger side, but that doesn't really matter for this test. All I want to make sure is some of them it doesn't matter in the sense of which way you put it on, but you can affect the switch. So if you press the switch down the wing and the can go up. If you put them the other way, it just depends. If you press down on the switch and you expect your wind to go down, it might go up because you've got the wires on the wrong way. That's kind of all that can really happen as such. Right, so what we're making sure on this one, because we've only got 2 wires, now you do have to check your carb, but normally when you've only got 2 wires, they control the up and down mechanism on the actual switch. And what I mean by that is, you can't really put these wires on the wrong way to blow anything in your car. But if you put them in the wrong way, your switch will work the wrong way. And what I mean by that is if you press down on your switch, and it all depends on preference. You press down on your switch and your window goes down. You lift up on your switch and your window lifts up. If you get these the wrong way round, when you press down on the switch, the window will go up. You know, it's not the end of the world, but that's kind of can happen. If you've got a multi-plug now, that's a completely different story altogether. But we don't. So what I've had to do is just twist these wires together. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the black wire, and this wire is blue and red, and I'm just going to wrap the black wire around the blue and red, just like that. So it's just going to hold it for me. Then all I'm going to do is touch the blue wire off the red wire. Okay, it's the other switch. Right, so it's this switch. So if I press down, as you can see now, the window's going up. If I lift the switch up, the window's going down. But at least we know it's actually working. So if I press down, all I'm going to do is, if I switch these wires around, so I put the blue wire with the red and blue wire. Now in this car there was a red and blue wire, and the blue wire matches with the blue tracer, but that's just coincidence. And put the black wire on the red wire, so if I press down now, the window goes down, lift the switch up, and it goes up. So I'm happy enough with that. So I'm going to leave it in that position so I can set the glass. So I'm happy enough knowing the blue wire goes with the red and blue, and the black wire goes with the red and green tracer. So I'm happy enough with that. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the glass in now, just because I like to get the glass out the way so nothing can really happen with it. The sooner it's on the window the better, in my opinion, because it can't get bloody broke. So I'm going to drop the glass in, but I'm just going to angle it the same way I angled it coming out. So like a 45-degree angle. Slide it in till it goes in, which is about there. So now the glass is in. Just kind of line it up, push it down. I can't see. I'm going to hold the glass because I need to make sure it's on. Just move the camera down a bit. You'll see. What I'm going to do now it's down, is just locate the glass into the 2 little slots. Now on the glass, you can see where it was clean. So in other words, you could see where these little mounts for the glass was. And it's important to get them right, because if you don't get them right, the glass will go up, it could be twisted, and it's going to shatter. So we need to get them bang on the marks like it originally was. Now, I've just said about the marks. Unfortunately, the marks don't line up with this particular window regulator. But again, it's not the end of the world, because what we can do is we just have to kind of manually set it, which is a little bit more annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So I want to make sure the glass is sitting all the way down, which it is. And then what I'm going to do is push it all the way to the opened end of the car. So just push it. It can't go any further. Now, what I'm going to do is tighten these up halfway, not fully, just so it to grip the glass, but also what it can do is the glass can still move. And I'm going to get some lube and spray some lube down the runners. I should have really done this before I put the glass on. No harm to put it down. I spray it in here, it's going to run down beside the glass and it's going to get to where it needs to go. Same on the other side. Now, what I need to do now is connect my switches back up, connect these two wires back up, and just see what I'm seeing now is I'm going to make sure very slowly the glass is going to go up and it's going into place. I'm going to do it very, very slowly because you don't want to do this fast. Now, I might have put these in a different place. No, I haven't. I'll just hold them wires together and very, very slowly. What I'm looking for is to make sure the motor isn't under pressure, so it's not trying to move the glass. The glass isn't under pressure. That's what I'm looking for. Right, it went all the way to the top. Now the problem is, depending on how tight you've actually done these, I might not have done these tight enough. This might slide off coming back down. No, lucky enough, I did it tight enough. That's one thing you do have to be aware of. This wire is going to be in the way. Is there a clip on it? No. So I'm going to have to move these wires out of the way so they don't get caught one way behind the window. But for the time being, that there now, I am happy with that. So what I'm going to do, this is the scary part, because this is the part you have to tighten the glass up. And half a turn, a quarter of a turn too much, it will shatter. And there's no real feeling in it. I'm using a palm ratchet, so I'm not using any kind of ratchet. So this is, as regards, I can't put a lot of power on this ratchet, which is what you need for something along these lines. You just kind of have to judge it. It's just one of them things. And then just kind of give it a bit of a wobble to make sure it's not going to come out, which it isn't. You don't want to pull that too hard. You don't want to put pressure anywhere. I'm just checking to see if that definitely is enough. Just put that up a bit more. Of course, it's not going to work because it's not connected. Now, I'm happy enough with that, that is tight enough. I'm just going to double check now. Just going to let it go up and down a bit faster to see if it's smooth. Right, it's smooth. I can see there's a little bit of rubber getting caught just here, so we can fix this now. Get a screwdriver. I don't know if it's showing on camera, the rubber here, so I can just lift that up, because that's just putting pressure on everything. You don't need to be putting pressure on things that doesn't need pressure on. So we'll just check it again. As you can see, that wire there is getting caught in the middle here, so I'm going to get a cable tie. That was cable tie before, so I'm going to cable tie that again. But I am happy with that. So I'm going to get a cable tie before I forget. Now what that will do is, that will just keep that wire away, because it's important you do that. And I've just noticed there's the little clip. Not to worry, it's not the end of the world. The little clip just went there, but it's actually in the wrong place, because it's supposed to be here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this clip on as well as the cable tie. Now, so we have both. Not really, cable tie will do it. Just going to be using ordinary male spade connections, because the female connections are already on the new bit of wire we've got. Just going to trim these a little bit, because these wires is too long. So just trim that wire off a bit, put the connection on and squeeze it down. Yes, and before anyone says, I know there's a tool for this, but vice grips work really well. The one thing you do have to be careful of is, because these aren't, these connections are bare, and what I mean by that is, as I put that connection on there, I'll say as I do it now, but lucky enough, the connections they provide us, we have this little plastic cover which goes over it, so that means it can't earth itself out. You don't want to be leaving bare metal connections, because all that will happen is you just keep popping your fuse. You won't particularly do major damage, but what's going to happen is every so often you could just pop your fuse, you could have your window down, then it could start raining. If your fuse is popped, it's just annoying. So it's a good thing that they have them little plastic connections for us. It just, all you have to do is just put a bit of tape around if they didn't. Or you can get connections, you can get these spade connections with a cover over the top of them, but I know I didn't need it for this particular one, so I'm just using the ordinary ones. So same thing again, crush that down. Now, put it in. They're a bit tight, but that's good because it means they weren't going to come out easy. What I'm going to do, I think it's this one. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm just going to check it now to make sure. Down is down, up is up. It's going to work. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, so I'm going to cable tie that to this cluster here, and just put a little bit of tape around there, just so them connections can't, the little plastic bit can't come off. You don't need a lot of tape, it's just to hold it. So I'm going to cable tie it there. Which will hold everything nice in place. Now, lovely. Sorted. Now what we need to do is bang on the door card. And the best way, or should I say the easiest way of putting it back on, all you really have to be careful of is making sure once it's on, the door handle opens and closes. And it's very simple. I'm not going to be able to show you, I'm not going to be able to get the camera in, but this little hook hooks in to the silver part of the handle, which is just there. You can just see it moving. Once you've hooked the silver part in, you pull the black bit back all the way till it slots inside this hole here, and you can see the little clip, this black part where it has to slot in. But if you don't do that, it won't pull the cable inside the hose and it won't open and close the door. So it's very simple, but you have to do that, otherwise you're not opening or closing your door. Simple as that, really. So pull it all the way back, push it down, in, clip it forward. Simple. Done, dusted, nothing to worry about. Now, next thing we need to do is just pull these wires through first. Now, pull the wire through. Now, the next thing is we need to put this to adjust the mirror back on. There's just two little clips it sits into. Again, it'll make more sense once you're doing it yourself, but it's very easy. Now what we need to do is clip this on, but we need to lift it over this first. And we need to lift, this lip has to sit inside this rubber here. And it can either go on straight away, or it can be really annoying. So I need to roll that over the top. So I've rolled it over the top and then push it down. Bang all them clips in the side. Now, what I'm going to do is, one thing I did forget to do is put the speaker back on. So, off with this again. I knew it went on too easy. Bet your life now, it's not going to go back that easy. I should be able to put the speaker on without disconnecting everything, hopefully. Right, got the speaker back on, got a couple more screws on it. Once I've done that, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll get fitting this door card. Right, so we've got the speaker back on, and now let's see if this goes on as easy. So put that through first, hold it up, put the top of the, you see I'm lifting it up at an angle so I can roll the top on and then push it down, and hopefully should find, there we go. Bang them clips on. And what I like to do is just get one of the bolts in. These are the bolts that were taken off before I got it. There's 2 silver screws, should I say, with threads on it. And I'm just going to put one on first, just to kind of hold the door card there. And the reason I like to do that is you need to make sure that this is working. And the easiest way to do that, grab the door, get some sort of screwdriver, press the lock and lift it back with the handle. There's nothing worse getting everything on and then that not working. So once you know that works, it's a lot easier. So we can put the second screw in then. Now what we need to do is figure out which one is the driver's side, because we'll leave the top one for the driver's side and the bottom one for the passenger side. But again, this car you can use it either way. It just depends on your own personal. So that's the passenger side one. So this is the driver's one. Right, I'm going to leave the passenger one disconnected on this car because we've got a problem with the other side. I just don't want him to press it down. So we're going to leave that there, but at least we've got the driver's one working. And when you're at this stage, it's no harm to check it. Make sure it goes down. Make sure it goes up. Once the door card's in, you know, you've got nothing in the way. Push the little lock. This is for the doors, to lock the doors, so that should just push up. Click in place. So I've just put the little switch in to lock the doors and to open the doors. Seems to be a bit dodgy there, but it's in. So we can now get this into place. This has to go down first before the top plate goes on. Now, so that is on. And then this top plate goes on. This should go on. There we go. Now, sorted. And that is essentially a window reg on one of these sets. Sorted. Simples. So look, hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe. Check out our forum, sign up to it. Check out our shop, all that. Like, share and subscribe. You know the story. And yeah, see you for the next one. Don't forget, get your hands dirty. I forgot to say, you need to put this on as well. If I don't show it, you get someone, no, you didn't put that on, you know, God, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know the ones. Sorted.